What's going on, geeks and gamers? This is Ryan from RK Outpost, and today I'm going to talk to you about why the Star Wars Expanded Universe should matter to you. Now, I'm one of the many people who over the past several years since Disney's acquired Star Wars has been extremely unhappy and dissatisfied with what we've got from them. One of the biggest reasons why is because I was a big fan of what's known as the Star Wars Expanded Universe, now referred to as Legends, since 2014. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Expanded Universe is, I'll briefly describe it. In between Star Wars trilogies and Star Wars movies, Star Wars wasn't dead. Star Wars was still alive. We still had stories. Expanded the universe, which is how it gets its name. We had stories after Return of the Jedi. We had stories from well before in the Old Republic. It all built upon itself, and it was one cohesive story, all tying things together. And one of the things it really did was keep Star Wars alive during the downtimes between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and then after the prequel trilogy. There was a lot of content being produced and some pretty hardcore fans. Many of the books that were released consistently made the New York Times bestsellers list. There was a lot of positive support for the Expanded Universe. And in 2014, shortly after Disney had acquired the rights to Star Wars from George Lucas, they decided to axe the entire Expanded Universe. Their reasons being that it was too convoluted and they didn't have the creative freedoms that they wanted to create this sequel trilogy. The reason that so many Expanded Universe fans were upset about that is because we grew to love these characters so much because they were true to the characters of Star Wars that George Lucas gave us. Although George Lucas wasn't the one writing these stories and necessarily overseeing every project, he did have his input, and he actually axed some projects that he didn't like because he didn't like where that story was headed. There are hundreds of novels and hundreds of comic books, and it all ties into video games. Everything that you guys have played, Knights of the Old Republic, Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, games like that, it's all together in the Expanded Universe. And what we get from Disney, you may disagree with me, you may agree with me, but they're not the characters that I was expecting to get. For instance, in the Expanded Universe, instead of seeing Han Solo become a deadbeat dad who just goes back to smuggling with Chewbacca, just like he was before the original trilogy, we have a Han Solo who becomes a respected general in the New Republic army and a family man. That transition that we saw from A New Hope all the way to the end of Return of the Jedi, it makes sense that that's where Han Solo would go. Although he still has his classic kind of disdain for any authority, he is a guy who is always going to do the right thing. He's not going to leave his family. And together we see him and Leia grow a family and have 3 children that all have their unique personalities, and you get to see them grow up. Leia, we see her almost single-handedly at times keep this fledgling New Republic afloat as they transition from being a rebellion who's just focused on freeing us from the grip, not us, but freeing the galaxy from the grip of the tyrannical empire. They all of a sudden are in the position where they have to now govern, and seeing that as a real struggle for this new government. You get to see her do that. You get to see her fulfill kind of the destiny of her adopted family, because that's what her father Bail would have wanted, for her to help restore the Republic. And then after she has done that, she fulfills her bloodline destiny of her father, and she becomes a really well-trained and incredible Jedi. Luke Skywalker is not the Jake Skywalker that we saw in The Last Jedi. The Expanded Universe Luke Skywalker, Grand Master Luke Skywalker of the New Jedi Order, goes through trials and tribulations and is dedicated to rebuilding the Jedi Order. Oftentimes he's really uncertain because he doesn't want to make the mistakes that he's seen play out through history. He's afraid that he may screw up, but he perseveres because he trusts in the Force and he trusts in himself. You see him rebuild the Jedi Order in a different way. You see him in a really unexpected way meet the love of his life, Mara Jade Skywalker. And you see their very unique relationship develop, and she's one of the best female characters in fiction that I can ever remember. She's incredible. And you see them start a family and have a son named Ben Skywalker. It actually makes sense for him to be named Ben because Luke knew Obi-Wan as Ben, unlike either Han or Leia. So you see them fight against everything that comes their way. They don't hide and run and go off to an island. They fight and they win. Not everything's happy. Not everything's happy in the expanded universe. There's some great tragedies. We see characters that we love and that we've grown to love. We see them fall. We see them go out in a blaze of glory, or sometimes in moments of great sacrifice. And the solo Skywalker clan is not unaffected. They have some incredibly tragic losses. I'm not going to spoil anything for you because you're going to want to check it out for yourself, but you feel along with them. Sometimes you even feel the tears welling up inside you because you care so deeply about them, about these characters you've spent so much time reading. And these characters who have already sacrificed so much for the fate of the galaxy, to have to sit by and watch as their children fight for it, knowing that some of them won't come back. It's moving, and it's pays off the thousands of hours that you invested in reading these stories, in playing the games, reading the comics. That's the Star Wars that we deserve to get. Now, Disney's tried to incorporate some of the ideas and things from the expanding universe, even though they said they didn't want anything to do with it because they wanted their creative freedoms. But then we see these, just recreations of A New Hope by J.J. Abrams, and we understand that they don't really care about creative freedoms. They just wanted to market their characters to us. But if you are one of the people who has been shutting your wallet to Disney, I understand. I understand completely, and you're right to do so. But if you have something that you want to invest in, if you are tired of the Star Wars we're getting, and you want to experience the Star Wars that we were intended to have, look into the expanded universe. These stories are there. Use your money in a constructive way if you want Star Wars, and buy these Legends or expanded universe properties. They're still out there. You can still buy all this stuff and experience it. And if enough people show Disney that these are the stories we want, this is the Star Wars that we want, with their wallets, with their mouths on social media, eventually they'd be insane not to listen. Now, to be fair, we may have seen them be insane with some of the things they've already put out there, so who knows, but it's worth a shot. And if you invest your time in the expanded universe, I guarantee you will not be disappointed, from my perspective at least, because you sit through The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens, it might be 2 hours and 15 minutes of your life that you experience. Each and every one of the novels in the expanded universe, it's going to take you 8-10 hours. Like I said, there's thousands of hours of content out there, and if you want it, it's there for the taking. In the future, I'm really looking forward to sharing with all of you my personal favorite expanded universe stories. But what do you guys think? Have you heard of the expanded universe before? Are you excited to get into it? Are you willing to tell Disney and Lucasfilm that you want real Star Wars back again? Let us know. Make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, leave a comment, and I will talk to you guys later.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy from geeksandgamers.com, and if you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers, please go to our website, visit our merchandise store. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, tank tops, and in the very near future, we're going to have many more products for you to choose from. So thank you for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.